Welcome to Grey Roots. This is Alecia Warneke, and I have my co-hosts, Kathy Eggers and Kari Oakley Miller, which I couldn't say the last time we did this. How are we doing today, ladies? So glad to kind of be over the hump of the holidays and back in the groove. One of the things that we've noticed is that mothers with only boys seem to have the biggest problem with the daughters-in-law. Like there seems to be some kind of connection there of moms that don't have girls that have all boys, like myself. I have only boys, 3 boys. If y'all have been listening, you know that. Kathy has daughters. Kari has a daughter. If you are watching, you can see that we have a guest on today because we thought that it would be really interesting to explore that with another mom of only boys. Her name is Shawn Helton. Say hi, Shawn. Shawn's son is engaged to Kathy's daughter, Sarah. So yeah, welcome, Shawn.
Thank you. I'm glad to
We
be
are,
here.
we are so glad to have you. And we have, if you can see Kathy's screen, we have Sarah in the background also. Hey, Sarah.
Hey,
Sarah,
she won't let me leave.
Sarah was popping in to say, hey, I'm like, hey, but since we have you here, how great
Ooh,
is it to have Shawn, future mother-in-law,
Mhm.
and
yep,
Sarah, future daughter-in-law, to get some real
Mhm.
good content right here?
Mhm.
yep. So Shawn, tell us about your boys. You have 2 sons, right?
I have 2 sons. One is about to be 25, the other's about to be 22. My 25-year-old just got married May the 17th.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. They dated for 8.5 years. I have pictures of them when they were probably 4 to 5 playing soccer together.
Wow.
So our families have been friends since about 2000.
Okay.
So
Okay.
our families grew up together.
Do you think that helped you in moving into the mother-in-law role with Jamie because you
Yeah,
knew her
I
for so
think so
long?
because they're from the same city. They will probably move back to this same city and hopefully within 5, 6 years. I think the differences will come when Bryce and Sarah get married because I don't see them coming back here. So there will be distance.
Hmm.
And since her family is here, all of her family is here. So that's when the differences will come in because they'll always be here and we'll see them in and out.
Hmm. Well, and I would think that like having that relationship with Jamie, like, you have years,
We have years.
decades, you have decades of time to build that you've had to build the relationship to really know each other almost kind of like, we talk about the mother-daughter relationship, how, a mom can say something to a daughter that a mother-in-law cannot say to that daughter
Right.
because
Right.
the mother has that relationship with her, right? She
Right.
kind of knows where the mom is coming from. It's not kind of out of the blue. She doesn't take it the wrong way.
Right.
So I imagine it's somewhat similar for
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
with Jeannie like that because you've known
And
her for so long.
her mother and I did a lot of things. As the kids were growing up, we were in little clubs together, PTO, all this. So she and I think a lot alike and do things a lot alike. And yeah, I think she's used to the two of us all the time, just but
Mhm.
Jameson is very laid back. She's just even keel, just I don't think a lot upsets her. So that makes it easy too. So she knows how I am and I don't know,
Yeah.
it I hope that she feels comfortable here. They both are very conscious of where they spend their time back and
Mhm.
forth when they do get to visit. Okay, this Sunday is time we go to church with, or they go to church with us because last time they were home, they went to church with them. They kind of keep all that
So they're
straight.
very conscious about how they
They're
are
very
splitting
conscious about it.
and
So
spending their time.
that helps us. So
Yeah. Yeah. Because, typically we talk about, well, not typically, but the whole daughter is a daughter for the rest of your life. A son is a son until he finds a wife.
yeah.
Which, I completely relate to as a mom with boys because they do leave. And the daughter does have that relationship with her mom that
Right.
you don't have, right? And sons and moms just have a different relationship than
Yeah. And
daughters and moms.
and I have to remind myself that I was that way. I was the same way. Like you gravitate to your mother
Hmm.
and that's just kind of the way things are unless you don't have that good relationship with your mother.
Yeah. Well, how do you think being a mother-in-law with this first time around has changed you?
Well, that's a very hard
Is there
question.
anything that kind of popped up and you were like, "This is different." Like, I'm learning new things or things that you're noticing, expectations about the role.
Yeah, John and I talked about some of this last night, and it's really strange because not a whole lot has changed because they dated so long. I think of the holidays because, they have a very large family on both sides. So they have a lot of events to go to. We don't have as much. And so, I think had we not known them, I would be like, well, are we ever going to get to see them? That kind of stuff. They've been over there so much, but we're used to it because Davis has gone there and done that for 8 years. He's been a part of their family. And then she's been a part of ours.
Do you have any grandkids yet?
No, no,
Not yet.
not
Okay.
yet. We hope
Okay.
that we joke and say, okay, they have to start making some money first.
Well, money's always good when you have kids, especially.
Always, yeah, always helps, yeah. But both of them, they're in their third year dental, third year med, and so it's a little harder, you know,
Mhm.
in that kind of situation. That's such a hard question. I don't really what has happened is really what I have expected. I don't know of any big surprises, and so that makes it different for me and I do attribute that to knowing them and their family for so long.
Mhm.
How would you compare just getting to know a brand new person in your one son's life when you grew up with the other one? How has that
Yeah,
been different for you?
it's very different, but it's it's great because getting to know Sarah, I am one of the luckiest and blessed people with who my sons they've been placed with. I think God had a hand in I know God had a hand in that, and they're so different, but they're such perfect matches for my boys, the way their personalities are. But it is different because I'm having to get to know Sarah's very large family. And I think her coming from that big family, I mean, makes her obviously who she is and so caring and she just fits in, just adapts to whatever's going on, especially with my family at Christmas. We had so much fun with her at Christmas this year because my
You
family's
spoiled her
getting to
rotten.
it's easy, and that's one thing that is so different being a mother-in-law. I said something to Bryce before Sarah got here. I said, "Oh, let me tell you about all the little things that I got because every year when I shop, I don't ever get to shop for girls. So that's so fun.
Yep.
So I buy all these little knickknacks, and I said, "Yeah, I got this for my girls." And he said, "Well, who are you calling your girls?" And I said, "Well, Sarah and Jamie, they're my girls, and
Yeah.
Mhm.
all these little knickknack things that they think I'm sure they're like, I will never use this, but then one day they will, and they'll be like, oh yeah, she was right. She'll use it. But
That is fun.
yeah, it's fun and it's fun having her here. I mean, just it was so wonderful at Thanksgiving. She and Bryce came over earlier. Having girls in the house, you can tell they were raised, that they're raised like girls are raised to jump in and help and let me help you stir whatever you're doing, that kind
Mhm.
of stuff. Hey, watch this in the oven while I get this done, and it's Sarah just jumps right in and did it. She just helps. And so boys don't really do that as much, but they make the mess, or you have to say, please take the trash out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 So, well, let me ask you about because it hasn't been that long since Davis got married. That was less than a
Right,
year ago.
right.
How involved were you with the wedding planning?
I think he proposed on a Tuesday night and I was awakened on Wednesday morning with her mother and we were planning an engagement party. And so, um, I just said, I don't want to be the mother-in-law that oversteps and tells you everything that you need to do, and I don't like that. So I'm
Mhm.
gonna sit back and you tell me what you want me to do, what you need me to do, when I need to do it. Don't forget that I know how your mother thinks, and we've done all these things. We've planned things, we've done things, for so many years together. So just don't forget that I can follow your instructions and we'll help you. Because her second year of med school that's a tough year. It's not the best year to be planning a wedding. And she's 3 hours from home. And so they did not ask me to do just a whole lot. I just kept offering, and I would remind her that it was her wedding. And I said, just remember, do your wedding, not
Mhm.
everybody else's.
How do you think that was received when you said that?
Just knowing her, I mean, she knew that I meant it and that, just let me know if you need anything, that kind of
I mean, I
thing.
would think it would kind of be like almost kind of like a relief. Like, okay,
Right,
she's there to
right.
help me, but
Yeah,
she's not there to make any of the choices for me. I think a lot of the daughters-in-law, the brides are afraid that their people are going to make the choices for them. And
for
it's
them.
their wedding and they want what they want.
Yes. I just kept reminding her, this is your wedding. You don't have to do everything that everybody else did. I just said, just let me know whatever you need me to do, I'm here. And if they needed
Yeah.
something, they'd let me know. So we had a venue change at the last minute due to weather. So we were all scrambling 2 days before trying to get it all done. And I mean, it was a major coming together of our little town. It was crazy,
That's sweet.
wild, but it worked out, and it was actually the venue they wanted to start with. So it's really weird
Okay.
how all that came full circle about when they started out. This is where we'd like to have it. It turned out beautiful, you know. So this next wedding will be a lot different.
Yeah. So this Sarah and Bryce, where is their I know she's looking at venues in Alabama because your mom's not going to be here tomorrow. That's how we know that, Sarah.
We're all going touring.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
I would love.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sean, Bryce, my mom, and I were all meeting tomorrow to start touring venues together. So
Okay.
that's exciting.
So fun.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that you're including Bryce and his mom. I think as a boy mom, even though we don't really expect that the girl is kind of going to be like, it's going to be like a fun daughter that we've never had, right? Like, I think for me, like part of that inside me kind of wants it, like I'm like, I have somebody to go shopping with. And then my first daughter-in-law, she's like on Amazon, you want to sit with me by the computer? I'm like, "Oh, don't you like TJ Maxx?" And she was like, "No, no, 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 no,"
Bryce
So
said, Sarah doesn't really shop a lot. And I was like, she doesn't? And so my mom made her shop this past, we're going to town. I have to buy you something at one of the stores. And Sarah's just kind of looking around a little bit. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? You're not shopping? Do you know this name? And she's like, I've never heard of these names. I said, oh my goodness, girl, I've got to school you.
that's
I'm a
funny.
shopper. So yes, like I've looked forward to having girls who want to shop. And somehow she does shop a little bit. Really, we shopped, as she was growing up because her mother and I would shop. And so when the boys were playing ball, we would all go shopping. So
No,
I
listen,
gotta get
Shawn, you take Sarah to New York City, she will shop you under the table. So the I don't like to shop might be daily, but you take her on a shopping trip, she's your best friend. So
gotta,
I'll just put that out there. Yeah. Yeah,
I'm
Sarah.
gonna add something before I leave to go work out. But on the including Sean note, to me, to give a perspective of the future daughter-in-law, it's all I've wanted to do since the beginning is to make sure she's a part of everything. Not because I know she has no girls, but because she has felt like another mom to me since
Mm.
very early on in Bryce and I's relationship. And so it was when we walked to dinner after Bryce proposed, I was so excited to see my mom, but I was also so excited to see her too, because
Oh, that's
it was
great.
the moment where it was a special journey for all of us. And I hadn't obviously known Davis and Jamie got married in May, and she had walked through that. But this is also going to be such a different process. And so I'm excited to get to include her. Bryce loves his mom, and that was very clear to me early on, is that relationship is so special to him. And so I wanted to get to know her, and then now it's just like fun. Like she's one of my
Mm.
people. And so whenever I get to
Mm.
see her, get to go to the house, it's so fun to be able to sit with her mom and Jamie and us four just get to talk, because now I haven't had a grandma in however many years. And
Yeah.
so I now
Mm.
Mm.
have grandparents added on, and then Bryce's dad is just we cut up and he jokes with me like I'm his kid. And then she takes me shopping. She makes me anything gluten free. I have like a gluten free drawer at their house to make sure I'm fed.
Mhm.
Love
Um,
it.
Yes, I do. I want to include them, but it's not because I feel like I have to. It's just because I want to. And so I'm really excited to tomorrow. Like I probably won't sleep tonight because I'm so excited that we all get to go do this together and
Mhm.
spend time together. But I am very grateful for. I mean, I have a big family, but they're like the missing piece. And so
Mhm.
I'm so excited that I have a second family and all of them. And I'm excited for this chapter.
Makes me
Mhm.
Well,
teary.
and
That's sweet.
Yeah, that's beautiful,
it sounds
Sarah.
like Shawn did a really good job of establishing a good relationship with you from the
Yeah,
beginning, Sarah.
she
And
definitely
I think
did.
that's key.
Mhm.
Not all moms get the chance, not all boy moms get the chance to be able to establish a relationship. I mean, if the kids right when you start dating, I mean, if the kids are older or they have careers, they live in other states, you might get a visit for Christmas or something if they want to bring her home, but it's, you don't really get to kind of have a front row seat to that. And
Right. And I think that one thing that helps with that is that we live an hour from Starkville, and we try to go to all the ball games. We try to get to things in before we go to games. We're like, okay, we
Mhm.
need to meet y'all. We need to go eat. We need, I'm always wanting to go to Starkville. Just I try to find reasons to go so that I get to see them. If it's for 5 minutes, I don't care. Like, I do stuff with Bryce's fraternity. We're close enough to do that. I think that helps. And then John will be, I miss Bryce. Let's see if he and Sarah can meet to eat or something like that. Let's do that. So we're close enough to do that because we do want to be in their lives.
Mhm.
I think that probably the hardest thing with both, and we're seeing this with Davis and Jamie, is they're married. They now have the opportunity to live their lives as a married couple and make decisions and all. And you want to help them not make bad ones, but you know that they have to go through things. And
Mhm.
with both, I think that they're receptive to any mistakes that we may have made along the way or things that we wish we had done differently. So
Mhm.
you got to make your own mistakes, but hey, this is one of ours, and this is what I wish we would have done instead. But
Mhm.
just hopefully they will be receptive to, you know, I guess advice.
Yeah, well, and I think the key to that is you
You wanna go?
said it. Is it "Hi, Sarah. Bye, Ellie." Is it Ellie? I love the little Ellie. For those of y'all that don't know the story, when Sarah was little, I don't know, 3, 4, 5,
I
something
think
like
she had just
that.
turned 5, yes. We had called her Ellie at birth, Sarah Elizabeth, but we did Ellie as a nickname so she wouldn't be Sarah Lee and have the bread company song sung to her 100 times. So we called her Ellie. And then when she turned 5, she woke up one morning and said, "Hey, why do you call me Ellie?" I told her the story. She said, "My name is Sarah. Please call me Sarah."
Mhm.
And that is her personality to a T. So she knows what she
Yes,
likes and she so she has been Sarah, and you know what has happened? She has had the Sarah Lee song sung to her many a times, but she doesn't
and
care.
she probably doesn't care.
No. No, actually, there's a time now she's like, "I miss Ellie." But anyway, go ahead. We digress.
Well, she was adorable. But, to your point, Shawn, I think the key to that is what you were saying is they're asking. They're coming to a place where they have the wisdom to know that you've been there before, you've done this longer than they have, and they can kind of invite you in as
Right. And
opposed
you have
to
to hope, we have to hope for that invitation.
yes. Yes,
Mhm.
and
It's not
sometimes
have
that
a
takes
conversation.
them making, falling down a couple times to realize, "Oof,"
Yeah.
maybe mom and dad, like, if you what would you do if you were in this situation? Or would you have done anything differently, you
That's the
know?
thing with Davis and Jamie is Davis is in dental school, and while he was going through the process, to get his requirements and everything, John would try to tell him little things. You need to come with me. The dean of the school is going to be there. You need to, let me introduce you. And
Because
at
let me
first,
interject, I don't think we mentioned, Shawn, that John is also a dentist.
oh
So if
yes,
we
Oh,
haven't
okay,
mentioned
yes.
that, John is a dentist, so that's why he's giving this advice because
Mhm.
he and his brother yeah.
so he's at the point where he has not applied yet. And there was a district meeting in Starkville. He's still in Starkville at Mississippi State. And John's like, I want you to go to this with me. And he just, no, no, no. I don't want to do it like that, And so John finally talked him into going, and two of his fraternity brothers were already there. And he didn't think that people did that when they were in undergrad. And John said, "No, you just trust me, go with me." And so he kind of learned a little lesson then, like, okay,
Mhm.
maybe. But now he talks to John all the time, and they talk about procedures and here's what I did today and how did it go, and hey,
Mhm.
Daddy, do you do such and such? How do you do this? And
Mhm.
will I use his one of Dave's big things is, will I ever actually do this with a patient? So their
Yeah.
relationship has changed because, John does every day what he's learning to do every day. So he used to call me a lot. Now he calls his dad. And so I kind of miss that. Davis is one who calls when he's going to and from school. That's when we get our conversations. Bryce, total different child. He's my hugger. He's the one he calls me all the time. He's always checking to see how am I doing, like,
Mm.
what's up with me, and just that kind of stuff. He includes, just like I was very surprised with the proposal, how much he included me and Kathy and what we thought, and just getting it all ready. I was like, Davis, I knew he had gotten a ring because I see his checking account, and he knew I would see a big charge. We didn't talk about it. Bryce, I
Mhm.
knew from the start what he was doing. Differences in kids.
Interesting though, Shawn, that you're willing to pivot from kid to kid, and I think that's going to be the same with your daughters-in-law. I think from Jamie and Sarah, they are definitely totally different personalities, and I think you've already said your willingness to pivot and say, okay, with Jamie, it's going to be this way. I've known her forever. It's kind of more of just a comfortable family. With Sarah, I've had to work a little bit, be a little more intentional to get to know her. And I think that says a lot about you. And I'm thankful as,
Mhm.
Sarah's mom that were willing to do that and be intentional to get to know her as her own person. Just
Mhm.
like your boys are different, the girls are also different.
Girls are
And
different.
I think that's going to help you in the long run have a close relationship with both of them, that you're willing to look at them as individuals, just not like my girls as a couple, but my girls as this is Jamie, this is Sarah, and this is
Right.
how I can
Mhm.
build a
Mhm.
relationship with them each.
They both make it very easy to embrace and to love them. Even though they are so different, they both make it very easy to be around and to love them, and they're taking care of my boys.
Mhm.
I love that. I'm just curious, do you have any
Mhm.
friends who are no contact with their kids or their daughters-in-law? Have you experienced that in any of your friendships?
I can't think of any offhand.
That's just what we hear it all the
Mhm.
time with our podcast, that so many young women are not in a relationship with their in-laws, especially. I mean, it's primarily, sometimes it's their own parents, but primarily.
Right.
So one of our goals is to see where that disconnect is happening with our generation. What are we doing that is
Yeah.
causing these young moms to say enough? And so that's one of the reasons we do this podcast.
Nobody really sticks out as to anybody I'm really close to, and I really can't think of anybody I'm not close to that has is happening with.
What Shawn, what advice would you have for future mothers-in-law?
I guess my advice, and this one is a hard one for me because I'm a fixer and I like to help people, and I like to, like, if I see somebody, I don't know, they're doing something and I think, I saw the other day where this could make their life easier. I like to
Mhm.
give that little information or that advice and all. But I think that, which, like I said, this is hard for me to sit back and wait for them to initiate wanting any advice, because you don't want to give a lot of advice and then them never want to be around you because that's all you ever do.
Mhm.
Well, Carrie has a good quote that she shares about advice. Carrie, what is that quote? Unsolicited
Unsolicited
advice?
advice comes across as criticism.
Right, right.
Even though it's well-meaning, good intentions, you're probably right. It comes across as criticism if you're not invited into that space.
Go to Jamie's house and say, "Hey, you need to put your washing powder in a different cabinet because that's not really good there." I don't do that kind of thing because I had a strange relationship with my mother-in-law, but it stems from his relationship with his mother. It was not the best. I loved her. She passed away 3 years ago, which was complete shock to us. She got cancer, but she didn't fight it and beat it, which was really, of all the people I ever knew, I thought if she ever got anything like that, she'd whip it and then be scared to come back, because that was her personality. But I always felt criticism, so I don't want to be like that. And it wasn't that she outwardly did it, was just the look of,
Mm.
you don't keep your
Yeah.
house like I think you should, or
Mhm.
my son works really hard and you don't keep up what he paid for. And it was probably more me than it was her. I just felt that. So I don't ever want either one of them to feel like, and like with Jameson, she was just like, y'all move my stuff in. I don't care. Put it where you think it needs to go. I'm too busy studying. We'll figure it out later. So it was kind of easy. And like one weekend we were at their house. John had made a mess. He was trying to fix something. And so she had not opened up her vacuum cleaner. So I called her mom and I said, "Do you think she's going to care if I open up the vacuum cleaner?" She was like, "Oh my gosh, no, please vacuum the house." She doesn't get offended if I go in and say, "Hey, let me help you," or "Do you want me to help you?" And I can't say that I was not like that. Like, if John's mother ever came in, I felt like the first thing she wanted to do was clean my house because she didn't think that it was clean enough, like to her standards. But Jamie's not like that. I check with her mother all the time. Are you sure she's going to be okay with me doing this? Because I don't want to make her feel like she didn't do something good enough or whatever. And she's like, "I promise she is not going to be like that." And I don't think she would be, but I want to make sure because our relationship has changed to the mother-in-law, daughter-in-law instead of you're just dating my son.
Mhm.
It does change. And
One of the things the daughter-in-laws talk about is that their mother-in-law doesn't really have a life of her own, and so she's so enmeshed in their lives and, like, just, like, the daughter-in-law's lives are so much part of her because, that was our identity as moms. Do you have that now, or have you always had that, just kinda kept your identity so that now both of your boys are gonna be married off? They may come visit, they may not, but do you have your own friends and community and things that you like to do that you have kept doing?
so when the boys were really little, I don't even remember who said it. Maybe all the moms were sitting around talking like, okay, one day they won't be there and you need a life outside of your kids. And I have always had that. So I do all of our accounting for our office. I did a volunteer position at our church where I did all of our preschool accounting, payroll, all that kind of stuff. And so I did it for a little over 21 years. And so
Wow.
that is now off my
Wow.
plate. I passed that on. But I stayed involved in community. We're a small community and we have a little club and I've served on just about every board in the county that you can serve on. I was very involved in their lives with PTO and their school and all that for many, many, many years. I was PTO president at 3 different schools, but the span was 11 years. Uh, so when Bryce got out of school, it was a tough transition because I was not seeing all those people anymore with PTO and soccer and baseball, all of those. But I have different groups of friends, I guess is what you could say, and we're always doing different things. And I need to learn more about mahjong.
Yeah.
Y'all
Yes, we
playing
need a
with that
mahjong
Good.
set, Shawn.
I know. So Jameson's mother got a set, and so I don't think she's taken it out of the box yet. So there's a lot of us who are talking about we need groups. So I'm not in their lives, like I'm in their lives, but I'm not
All up in their
calling them
business.
all up in their business, calling them, text Davis and say, "Hey, so and so did such and such. You need to call them," and just things like that. But I know that they're, especially Davis and Jamie. He may be in clinic. I try not to call during the day or anything, but I
Mhm.
usually don't call unless he has called me and wants something that I'm responding back. So
Yeah, I think
I'll
that's key because, like, being a mom has been part of your identity, but not all of your identity.
not all of it, yes,
Yes, and
and
I think
whoever told me a long time ago, when they're gone, you need something to do.
mhm,
So, you need to keep that going.
mhm,
You need to keep those other things going
Okay.
throughout their, upbringing so that you still have that when they're gone.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's hard when they leave still.
We will always forever be tethered wherever they are, and saying goodbye is hard. I think that's very healthy.
I didn't know how I would react to the empty nest, but since the day Bryce left, it seems like I never had time. I had a few moments here and there, but things happened.
Always.
Since Bryce moved out, there's been something that consumes my time that takes it away from sitting around feeling sad.
Hey, I have one final question. What's been your favorite thing about adding daughters-in-law into your family? Is there something that you have enjoyed the most?
Well, just having girls is so nice just to have girls to talk to because
And
boys
they
don't.
smell better too.
Yeah. Right. Right. They smell better. But I think one of the first things, like last year at Christmas, even though Davis and Jamie were not married, Davis for some reason wanted to do sugar cookies, and my boys have never wanted to roll out cookies and decorate. And that's just mama boys. You just don't. I don't know. Like you don't get to do those making candy in the kitchen with your daughters type thing. So, Kathy, you did that some. You posted how you were making, your regular candy making, and my mom and I did that. And she lives 4 hours away from me. So I don't have that girl to do that with. So last year we're sitting around watching movies and stuff. And so Jamie and I roll out cookies and all. And it was fun to get to do that. Poor Sarah, we can roll them out, but she may not get to eat the cookies. We'll have to do some gluten free. But I think that time, like hanging out in the kitchen and just having another girl there that I can say, "Hey, can you help me do whatever?" And they're just both ready to jump on it and do if I ask them. Sarah and Jamie both like, "Okay, let me plate this and let's get it out there and let me help you do that." So I love how they both will jump in and help even if I don't ask. So
That's awesome.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
think
one
Yeah,
of
they do
my
as
it's great.
well.
daughters-in-law, she says that is her favorite thing about coming to my house is being in the kitchen with me. Now, it's not all of them. Some don't ever come in the kitchen with me, but one particular, I mean, it is her favorite thing about coming to my house. So
And it
that's
seems like
great.
that's all we do is when
Around the
when I
holidays.
come in here, okay, what's the next meal? I do enjoy being in the kitchen. It seems like isn't that what everybody says? Being in the kitchen is where it all happens. And John and I said that night we're gonna build a kitchen that's so big that five of us can pass each other at the same time because this one's small. So
It's awesome.
I look forward to
Well,
that.
before Alecia closes us out, I just want to say thank you. I'm so thankful that my daughter gets you, Shawn, and
Well, I'm
for
so
that
thankful that
relationship.
I get her. Oh my goodness. I do want to say that I finally made a Christmas post on Facebook. I don't post a whole lot. And so I had pictures and I got the girls PJs last year and Sarah got to be here this year. And so we did a PJ picture and which I loved. Like, it's like girl stuff. Finally, I get to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
One of my friends texted me within minutes after I posted, and she said, "Oh my gosh, you're the luckiest person
Mhm.
ever. You have got two of the most wonderful girls that are going to be in your family." She said, "I just pray for my boys to get that." And her boys are the same ages as one's the same age as Bryce. And I said, and Kathy has said this too, from the minute they were born, you pray that they get
Mhm.
that person in their life.
Yeah,
Mhm.
So
that
I
makes
don't
me
know.
teary.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that
I
makes
know
me
I get
emotional,
upset
definitely.
too, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
she saw it, said I just pray, and I'm just like that they find that, and we're so blessed that mine have, and
Mhm.
and couldn't ask for better.
Mhm. Yeah.
Well,
It's a
Shawn,
beautiful
thank you
thing.
so much for coming on with us today. It was great meeting you. Yeah,
Version 2 needs to be y'all telling me the advice of it's later. Now you have the grandkids. What
Yeah.
do we do?
you know, I will tell you, it's a whole different game when the grandbabies come. It
Yeah, my
was,
husband says I don't care about y'all already. Just leave the kid.
yeah,
Yeah.
Don't know
yep,
the
yep,
door.
yep.
Well, I will
Um,
tell you, Shawn, in all my talking to daughters-in-law, daughters, all adult children, they say the worst part for them is that they feel like they don't matter anymore. And I've had so many mamas and men too say we still need our parents. Like we love that they love our babies, but we don't want them to forget us. I tell people I love my grandbabies, and I do, but I don't love them more than my kids.
So goodness. Well, thank you again so much. I can't wait to hear and see pictures of the wedding and all of the wonderful things to come. Hey, if y'all are enjoying this podcast, click like and subscribe and share with your friends. That's all I got.
Sounds
Peace
good.
out. Bye, Felicia.
Peace out.
out.
Yes.
Bye,
We'll see y'all
Felicia.
next week.